in the book of Ephesians, Paul gets to chapter 6, and he says, finally, brethren, be strong in the Lord and the power of his might. And then he went on to say, hey, you got to fight. But in your fight, we're not fighting against human beings. And he begins to talk about who we actually fight against. He says, we don't fight against each other, flesh and blood, but we fight against principalities, powers, rulers of the darkness of this world, and spiritual wickedness in high places. And so he tells us that we've got to be careful because the enemy fights with wiles, W-I-L-E-S. That's from the Greek word methodias. He has a methodology because he cannot overthrow you by force. So he uses wiles. He uses a method. He uses trickery. And Paul says, because of that, you got to be fully armed. You can't have any part of you exposed, because if you miss out on one of these weapons, you open up the door for the devil to defeat you. The first one that he talks about is having your loins girt about with truth. In a natural fight, a girl can whip a boy if she kicks him in the right spot. She can have that dude buckled over like a sissy if she kicks him in the right spot. And so Paul said, hey, first thing, protect your loins and have your loins girt about with truth. My mind goes to the question, what is truth? And what is truth? Jesus answers, thy word is truth. What are the loins for? In the physical, in the natural, that's the place of reproduction. And if you have somebody that does not give truth or have truth, they will not have that ability to convey reproduction. There will be nobody birthed at that place, which they call church, if there's not truth. They will lose. And even going back to the loins, my mind goes to Deuteronomy. If anybody was wounded in their loins, the Bible said in their stones or had their privy member cut off, they were not allowed in the house of God. One of the most important things for you, if you're going to be part of the church, is you have to have yourself strapped with truth, or that opens up the door for the devil to defeat you. I looked down when I said loins, but actually in the scripture, if we break it down, Peter addresses that, and he said, gird up the loins of your mind. We'll talk about that more. Loins girt about with truth.